Red button?
Goodness. Red.
We are good on that. All right, let's do this. Put some glasses on.
Yeah, that's overrated.
And
people might think you're intelligent wearing glasses.
A little bit. All right, I'll get it started on a 3 and a 2 and hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Sean. Right next to me is Adam. Say hello.
Greetings.
We're back. This is episode 3. Revenge of the... No.
I don't know if we have anything to take revenge on yet.
Not yet. Maybe the Royals, because apparently they're sucking ass right now. I should turn my phone off and not pay attention to that bullshit. But by the time everybody hears this podcast, they're probably going to go on a 5. Now that I said that, they're going to win 5 in a row, 6 in a row.
P.S. If that is the case, then I will punch you until you say it again, until I start losing. Then I will punch you again until you say it.
It's like restarting.
Yes.
I
am superstitious, very much so.
I will do it and then do it again. You're joining us live, but not live. We're live. Not live when you hear it, but you get the point. We are at Raytona Recordings, RaytonaRecordings.com, Raytona Recordings on Facebook and Instagram. This is another lovely edition of Chemtrails with Adam and Sean. You can check us out on Facebook because this fine gentleman over here to my right...
Hey. Do not use such foul language about me.
All right, I'm sorry. I'll take that back.
This guy here, me.
This guy over here, all right, decided to put together a lovely Facebook page. And those of you that have joined us, because we are sitting at 99 right now, you put it up about, a week ago?
Hey, that means we have 99 fans, but, wait.
Don't do it. Don't do it, Jay-Z.
I should not do that.
Don't do it. But, yes, we have a Facebook page. Check us out at Chemtrails with Adam and Sean on Facebook. You will love it. We talk music and there's a train.
And the good thing about the Facebook page too is if you're a listener and you're just obviously you listen to us and you say to yourself, wow, they talked about dirt. You can go on our Facebook page and check out pictures of the record and different things that we may or may not have had or talked about on the podcast. So you just a little extra to kill some time when you're laying in bed or taking a poop.
Or taking a poop, but most likely taking a poop.
So that's the majority of my Facebook time.
Yeah, mine too.
It's taking a poop at work.
I said, oh no, yeah.
Yeah.
Mine, I'm mostly here, and then we have a lovely restroom over here. I sit here and I go, you know what? I'm going to use the restroom and I'm going to leave the door open. I might not even turn the fan on.
And I'm going to post.
and I'm going to post some pictures. I might even post a video, not of what I'm doing, but stuff that we were working on. That might be a little too much. But you know what? People are listening is going, you know what? I do the same thing. Come on, raise your hands. Raise your hands because you know you
right
do.
Here, right
you
here.
know you do. You know, if you're listening to this and you snicker a bit, you have done it.
Oh, absolutely.
No, it's happened.
Absolutely.
It's happened.
I've held Facebook conversations on the John.
Who hasn't, man?
There might be someone out there. I mean, my grandpa's 90. No, I don't.
Come on now.
I don't think
they invented it.
I'm not going to claim he's in cahoots with Zuckerberg. My grandpa's a good man.
All right. You're right. Yeah. Damn it, Zuck.
Pretty much.
Damn you.
Zuck.
That's a whole nother story. Anyways, let's get back to see this is what we do now. We're 20 minutes in. No, I'm just kidding.
I was going to say, I didn't think so.
No, we're here to talk about a couple more records, some albums. Hopefully you liked the previous podcast. We haven't heard any gripes, moans, or complaints. So onward, we shall move. And we've got a couple of good ones here for you tonight.
Well, having said that, I mean, until someone, i.e. you, the audience, suggests an album that we should do, we're going to pick albums we like.
Exactly. And
I mean,
all you have to do is just hit us up now on Facebook, man. Just hit us up, send us a message or a comment and say, hey, man, you know what, though?
Yeah.
We did when we went live. There were a few comments that were thrown out there.
There were some suggestions. What was that, a week ago?
Yeah, which we will. We absolutely will. Go back and look at that, and we definitely will talk about those albums because those are albums that we dig too.
Yeah, because many of the ones that were mentioned during that we already have and already liked and we're able to talk about anyway. But I'm just saying, the first person that mentions NSYNC, we'll talk about it. You might not like our opinion.
We will. Speaking of that, I was thinking about this earlier.
Did you hurt yourself?
A little bit.
Okay.
It's still cold out. It took a minute to get started.
Yeah, it's May. Why is it this cold in May?
It's May, and it's today was 56, 57 degrees.
I had to wear long sleeves. I'm agitated.
Yeah, it's a little chilly, but it's supposed to warm up. Gary Lee's like that. I believe what he says, though.
I'm terribly sorry. The best meteorologist I know is the window.
No, exactly. And you're like, oh, okay. It looks decent.
Sunny today.
It looks decent.
All right.
But going back to what I was saying, so
about NSYNC?
About NSYNC. No,
okay.
No, not about records. We will talk about it, but we might not, like the record, but we'll listen to it and we'll, discuss it and maybe give you our opinion of it.
Well, and a good example of that is the last podcast, because me personally, I'm not a fan of Blood Set Sugar Magic, but I gave it another listen, looked into it, see what I could find out, and
now you love them, dude.
Oh yeah, that was, it was under.
Absolutely, you came in here. The first thing you did, man, was go, "Where is that record? I want to listen to it." That's what I heard. That's actually pretty close to the truth. Am I right? Did you really want to hear it?
I might have put it on. I was going to take some pictures of it so I could post it on the Facebook page as well.
All right.
But and thank you, because I was actually just about to admit to singing Under the Bridge while I was combing my beard this morning.
You're welcome. You're welcome, man. But no, so off the beaten path once more. Bands, man. So I was thinking about this on the way here, and everybody's got that band that you like, but always had that. That little era of their music that just kind of went down the crapper, just 2 or 3 albums, and you're like, what the fuck? Or maybe that one, and you're like, why? What did you do, man? And the only reason I'm saying this is because, for me, I could pick a few of these bands, like Kiss, the 80s. Once they took the makeup off, it's like they lost their balls too. I'm just saying, man, because they didn't get good again until, Revenge.
That's kind of what it seems like. And on the other hand, though, too, they started out with such a simple idea, really, with the makeup and the way they wrote their songs, that there's not a lot of complexity to it. It's kind of like AC/DC. They had a very simple setup and basis for their music.
Yes, but can you tell me an AC/DC record that sucks? Exactly.
Pick one from the 90s.
I don't know, dude. I don't know, because they were still rock and roll. They were still out there banging it and slanging it, man.
Other than Dirty Deeds, which is 91? I think that's early 90s.
Dirty Deeds?
I thought so. I could be a little bit off on that one. I'm guessing at that.
I thought Dirty Deeds was way back with Bon.
Was it?
Yeah, that's a Bon Scott song, unless they redid it. It may have been on a Greatest Hits.
Well, I know the early 90s is when I kind of lost on them, because I felt like that they really weren't advancing or doing anything new.
Well, yeah.
At that point, we already had 2.5 decades of AC/DC that was...
It stayed the same. It stayed the exact same. And then you're sitting there going...
If you wanted to, you could pick about 2 records, maybe 3 records from each singer and be golden.
Yeah.
With AC/DC. I kind of lump Kiss in the same group, because if you look at the early stuff, I could weed that down to just 2 or 3 records and be fine. There's a bunch of songs here and there, but for my taste, I didn't hear a lot of them that I thought were good complete records. There was never another Rock and Roll All Night.
No, well, no. But man, there were some good records, in my opinion. Now, they had some stinkers, and then, the disco, I Was Made for Loving You.
And
single came out, and then, I had to take a deep breath on that one, because you go, really? When you hear, dum, 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 like, what the, Rawhide? Oh, no.
You got that.
Oh, you're discoing it. Okay.
Well, and then there's like the random songs like War Machine, which I don't think I don't think that's that great of an album it's on, but that's
what? You don't think that's one of my favorite Kiss albums, man.
But that song smokes.
That's an album that just kicks your fucking teeth in. Pardon my language. See, that's the first fuck.
And there's the second.
There's the second. All right, I'm allowed 3 on this one.
So, but yeah, like War Machine, I'm going to make great time driving down the road.
Oh, yeah, man.
I'm stomping.
The beginning of that song, you know, the way it just hits, man, and you're like,
Dude, that's a vicious intro. It's vicious.
It's insane, dude. It's like
that intro's been used for
Highway to Hell, dude. You know, with
right,
you know,
right.
You know what song that is, and you're like, yes. And then it makes you, because somebody said, what makes you turn your music up?
Right. As soon
that
as
makes me turn it up, man.
It's one fluid motion because you point at the radio and you go, yes.
Absolutely.
Volume up.
There's only one way to go, man, and it's up.
Oh yeah.
It is up. There's no going down with that. You don't turn it down. You don't say, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry.
No. I use this term. I don't know if anyone else does, and they probably don't because no one else thinks like me. But I call that a Spinal Tap song because that's a song that needs to go to 11.
Yes.
Just completely,
absolutely.
totally.
Absolutely.
You need to rock that thing and kick it up that extra little notch.
Yeah, I didn't say it. I just mumbled. But see, I still got one more. I didn't say the info.
Holding on to that one.
I'm going to save that at the end and be like, eh. Yeah, dude. But okay, so going back to the shit, like the crap, you know, and you go, oh, wow. And the only reason I'm saying this, man, is because the song came on, I'm flipping the channels, and you know, and it's Eddie Trunk's on Sirius XM, and Turbo Lover hits. And I can't change that song fast enough, man. Judas Priest.
Yeah.
Turbo Lover, dude. Turbo Lover. No, man.
You stop it.
Dude, even the video sucks, dude. You're like, oh.
Get out of those leather pants. Stop it.
Cut it out. I mean, don't get out of them right now.
Right.
Later. But not right now. Nothing against it. I mean, I don't have a problem with that. But not right now, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
That's...
Having said that, there's a...
So, I mean, is there a band that for you, like, because for me, Judas Priest, dude, you know, from like 84 until 93-ish, were just done.
There's a bunch of bands where they have a time period I like, and I could just about do without the rest of it. Like Queensryche.
Ooh.
Once you get past Empire, I'm like,
ooh. Oh, I don't know, man. Here in the Now Frontier, to me, was a pretty stripped down, good, focused album. And then they said, okay. And that's when, you know, your front man decides to disappear, and he goes, I'm going to go do my own thing. And the rest of the band says, okay, we're still going to be Queensryche, buddy.
Yeah, there's that. And there's also the flip side of this argument, too, with, for me, it's not that they had a time period where they just fell off. It's I got stuck in a time period and didn't realize they were still making good music. But for me, that's Iron Maiden.
Oh, yeah.
Because I listened to all the early stuff so much, I didn't realize that some of the newer albums are really good.
Oh, dude.
Like, the last one they put out, Book of Souls, is a very good album.
The album they put out in 97, Iommi had put an album out, and it was like a whole bunch of like, you know, I want to say Dickinson was on Iommi's album, and it was just Iommi with like, you know, like some badasses, you know, just of the music industry, of rock and roll, and then you know, the boys put out, Iron Maiden put out a record, and it smokes, dude. And you know, like you said, dude, those dudes never really put out a bad record, man. They just keep running, dude. Pedal to the metal, let's go.
No. If you're running a 1 to 10 scale, Iron Maiden doesn't go below 7.
No, well, you know, it's like Motorhead. Motorhead had one stinker, in my opinion, and it really wasn't a stinker, man. It was just them, you know, trying to be bluesy on a record, and they said, okay, well, that didn't work. Let's go back to, you know, crushing poon and drinking whiskey. And that's exactly what they it did, man.
Should have never left that. That was a solid formula.
Oh, well, yeah.
I mean,
but it's Motorhead, man. And Motorhead, dude, even in the 90s, man. Motorhead put a record out in 94, 95. Blows minds, man, because it was just heavy.
which one's that? 'Cause
Oh my god, dude, I was just listening to it the other day. See, now I'm sucking. But if you know which record it is, you can make a comment after you hear this podcast and let us know. And then, you know what? I'll go buy the record. Because I don't own it on vinyl yet. Hopefully it is on vinyl. There's not a lot of Motorhead records that are on vinyl.
Yeah.
Yet.
There's a really sketchy time period in your early 90s to mid 90s where
They didn't do it.
You got some bands that made some pretty good records, but whether it's the label they were on or whatever, they haven't been put out on vinyl.
True.
It's like, you know this, Clutch is one of my favorite bands.
Yep.
And some of their early stuff, like, I don't think Pure Rock Fury is anywhere on vinyl. I don't think Transnational Speedway League is on vinyl.
If I'm not mistaken, you're right. I haven't seen it, because if I had seen it, man, it would be in my collection.
Absolutely. That's the way I was with the self-titled. When I saw the self-titled one on vinyl, I'm like, mine.
Which, come on, man, it's Clutch, dude.
And
you know, that's a band that
and that record sounds
they
so
haven't
good.
put a shitty album out, man. In my opinion, they put out some different albums, but not a shitty album. Clutch went from, you know, Pure Rock Fury to, you know, now they were sounding like they're from Texas. You know, they're playing some bluesy, swampy, you know, boogie rock, man. And it's good, dude, and I dig it.
Part of the reason I love that band so much is that they evolve. You don't, there isn't that 7 of the same album.
Yeah, they don't sound like they're from somewhere out in Maryland, man.
Even though they are.
Yeah.
But, and the funny thing like that, with that though, and this is going to go back to, I think I made this point on our first podcast, go see the shows. Because like Clutch is
now more than ever, because they are touring again. Go see them, give them some money, go support them.
But like with Clutch,
done with my tangent.
They're my best example for that, because the first 4 records are on 4 different labels, 4 different producers, all trying to push them in different directions. So you get a lot of different sounds. You know, Pure Rock Fury, they got a song on there called Lord, I'm drawing a blank. Something about a mic. Give me the mic. Pass me the mic.
I think Pass the Mic is Beastie Boys.
Anyway, it's track 4 on the record.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
If you want to go listen to it.
Again, go listen to it. Let us know.
But track 4 on that record, it's, in hindsight, that doesn't sound like a Clutch song. It doesn't sound like anything else they ever did before or after. That's a producer saying, we want a single. Mm-hmm. Because at the time that rap metal thing was going on.
Oh, yeah.
And that's one of the few times where you almost have Neil Fallon doing spoken rap in some ways.
Which doesn't fit, man. You know, and anybody who's listened to Clutch, you know, if you've listened to Elephant Riders or, you know, like self-titled, that is not who they are, man.
I thought they did a good job with it, but it's not them.
Exactly.
It doesn't sound like anything they did before or after. And that's an example. You also never hear that one in the concert.
Nope.
At all. They play some songs on that record, but not that one.
And that's another thing that I love about bands like Clutch, man, because they'll play stuff that they know that they're, you know, not the common fan, the person who, you know, reads the liner notes. You know, who's the nerd who needs to know everything about what happened in the studio, and you know how many times you go take a shit, man, before and after you did this track.
Which, P.S., they had black snakes in their house while they were recording Elephant Riders, because like they would wake up and there'd be fucking snakes on the ceiling.
Oh my god, dude! And you know what? Still did it. Didn't care. Didn't really probably bother them. They just kept on doing what they were doing. Smoked the ball and had some Cheerios, and then
went out and kicked some ass in the studio.
Kicked some ass, and they wrote a fantastic record. All right, speaking of records, album. Did you buy any albums this week?
Oh, let's see. I've slept a few times. Let me think about this.
Since our last podcast, have you received any albums in the mail, or have you gone anywhere and bought an album?
I feel like you're baiting me.
No, I'm just curious.
Let's see. I was at work the other day, and 2 packages arrived. Happened to be the same record.
Oh, that's right. You said you got 2 of them.
That's right. I did. Pre-ordered the Royal Blood album, Typhoons. If you haven't heard it, it is on Spotify. It is super catchy, thumping, rock and roll, awesome.
It definitely gets...
It kicks.
Yeah, we rank everything with pizza slices 8, how many slices out of 8? I'm giving that one a 7 out of 8 slices. The only reason I'm only giving it 7 is because for me it's a little different from what they put out previously. It's going to take me a minute to listen to it again, listen to a few more tracks, and get the vibe of what they're going with on this record. But
here's my
so
counter.
far it smokes.
Well, and it's not a true counter. I will give it a 7 as well, and here's my reasoning. I would consider it a 6 or 6.5, except what you just said. I like that they're trying a new direction, and I like the way it hits. My only problem is I think the last song doesn't fit the rest of the album.
I haven't heard that one yet.
It's my one problem, because tracks 1 through 9, they fit well, they flow well. The last track sounds like I think we've mentioned this before, but it sounds like one of those songs where the band said, we really like this song, we don't know where to put it, we're just going to shove it at the end of the album.
A lot of bands do that.
And I don't think it's a bad song, I just don't like how it fits the album. Having said that, that didn't stop me from, making my way through the kitchen to attempted dance maneuvers while doing food prep and listening to said record and said song.
Can you imagine that? Just close your eyes.
Oh, dude, yeah.
And picture.
Yeah.
Were you wearing socks?
Yeah, because that helps you get across the kitchen floor.
Socks. He's wearing socks. Who's on your shirt?
That would be Joe Kelly, sir.
The infamous Joe Cut.
Yep. With the pouty face. It's one of my favorite baseball moments of the last 5 years.
Where's that brewery?
St. Petersburg, Florida.
3 Daughters.
Yep.
3 Daughters Brewery. I am rocking the, if you haven't seen this yet, boom, Blind Melon. I am wearing the Blind Melon hat, right?
You are.
I had to think about it for a second, man. I'm a hat connoisseur. Fine connoisseur, fine hats. But yes, I am rocking the Blind Melon. It's a lovely hat.
Hat connoisseur.
Hat connoisseur. Connoisseur of fine hats.
Yeah.
So to say.
I actually organized my hats the other day, and come to find out, I have way too many hats for one head. I only have, there's only one dome here.
Yeah, you've seen how many hats I have, dude. I've got boxes, man. I've got enough hats for probably 3 years worth. I can wear a hat 3 years in a row and not change it. You know what I mean? Like not
You definitely have more than I do.
Not wear it the same. Is what I'm trying to say.
Right. You definitely have more than I do. But I'm no slouch either. I probably got 2 dozen you haven't seen, and you've known me for a minute.
Yeah, but dude, that's what we do, man. Hey, I love hats, man. I've always loved hats since I was a kid, man. I need all Major League Baseball, which I'm almost there, except for a few, like the Yankees.
Are we going there?
Yeah, but that's probably going to be the last one I buy. And I have to wear them a little bit, so I'll wear that one and get it nice and dirty. Maybe wear it to where nobody's really watching me. I'll wear it to McDonald's. And then, I'll take it off and I put it up, and that's it. I'll never wear it again.
That sounds like a reasonable plan. I'm still...
That's part of it.
I'm still missing a couple, though, because I'd like a couple of classic Pirates hats.
Oh, and I love my Buccos, man. And I've got some good ones, dude. I don't have the pillbox. I want the Cardinals pillbox hat. Yes, the Cardinals had one.
They did. I'm not a humongous fan of them. I want the Pirates pillbox hat. I think that is pimp.
Yes, I want the Kent to Colby era. We are family.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yellow and black, not black and yellow. With the black bill? Yes.
Ooh, yeah.
With the stars all over it, man. That is a great hat, man.
Those
Stargell.
are solid. Those are, when they had Stargell and
Dave Parker.
and Clemente's in the middle of that lineup.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was early. That was...
Because isn't We Are Family right when Clemente got with them?
No, that's 79. This was like at the end of, like, Stargill's getting ready to call it quits. Parker's getting ready to go somewhere else. Tekulve is still firing, but
So
1979 when they played the Baltimore Orioles and won the World Series.
I thought Clemente was on that team. I thought that if that's so, it's right before he passed away.
Yeah, he passed away in 72, 73. But he played with Stargill. Stargill played for quite a long time.
Yeah, they were definitely teammates for a while.
Yeah.
So are we going to talk about that one first, or we're going to do a chronological?
Well.
Doesn't matter to me.
What do people want to see? Yeah, we're trying the camera thing again. Bear with us. I think we got this figured out. But let's start with this one since it's in my hands. And we're going to talk about our albums. Or dude, that's cool. We can start with the first one.
No, man. You got
Are you sure? Because they're both good, man.
They are both good. This is also a nice little segue from our last endeavor when we went live on Facebook, because this album came up in conversation.
It did. And what album are we talking about here?
It would be a soundtrack.
Yes. So.
It is a pretty phenomenal soundtrack.
The Singles original motion picture soundtrack. For those of you who have not seen the movie Singles or have heard of the soundtrack from the movie Singles, you should not be listening to this podcast.
It's basically a grunge anthem.
Yeah, man. I mean, look at that, you know. And what were we talking about before this? That there was one band that was omitted from this because they didn't want to do it and they thought it was a love story.
That's right. Like, when I was looking up information on this record, I stumbled across an interview from Nirvana. It was all three of them. It was Novoselic, Cobain, and Grohl all sitting down talking to MTV, and they'd asked them specifically about the single soundtrack and said, you know, is it true that you were asked to put a song on the soundtrack? And Cobain was really upfront and saying, we really didn't think that was our style, because we'd heard that it was just a love movie, and we didn't want to be attached to it.
Which, you know, but, you know, if they had done their homework, man, and you're going, let me see. Yeah, this is a love movie with Alice in Chains would.
Does Kurt Cobain look like someone that does homework?
No, he never.
Unless it involves diseased collages. And I'm not sure you call that homework, because I have never heard of an art project that included such items.
Yeah, man, you know what though? Shame on them for not doing this, because this album, you know, first off, the movie itself is a classic. I own it. It was directed by Cameron Crowe, which has done numerous great movies.
He has, but having said that, this was his first big one.
It was. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he had one movie out before this, and it got him to the point to where he could actually do this one, which this one wasn't that big either.
It was only one or two movies before this. One of the things that impressed me about this, looking at it and thinking about it, you know, this movie's released in, is it 91?
90.
Is it late 91 or is it 92?
Let me see here. 92.
92?
1992. Yeah, because I remember seeing this in the theater, and I was with said girlfriend at the time. I can't remember her name. But
it's obviously not important anymore.
It's not, well, not anymore. But she enjoyed my popcorn. Let me just say that.
Very good.
Is that a little too much? Giggity.
Did you hold buttery hands?
A possibility. I quagmired her.
So, I thought it was really, looking back at it, if you look at the timeline and how this works, because obviously you don't wake up one day and have a movie out the door in a month.
No.
It takes time to go through this, so Cameron Crowe had a lot of foresight. Because that means that they're filming and doing stuff in 91, late 90, early 91, and you look at the soundtrack and you think to yourself, well, maybe you recognize the time and that grunge was taking off, but when you watch the movie, there's a lot of it in the movie. It's in the film. It wasn't a last-second add-on.
Well, yeah, and
this is definitely something where he recognized a scene and an area and basically a culture that he could film and make a decent movie out of, and it turns out to hold a great soundtrack with a lot of bands that would hold their water.
Yeah, and you know, right here, the soundtrack, it says produced and, you know, it's by Danny Bremson and Cameron Crowe himself, with contribution from Paul Westerberg, You know, this was right off of him leaving the Replacements. The Replacements were finished, you know. And right there, Cameron Crowe's going, hey, why don't you come help me out with this? And, you know, you've got Soundgarden on here. You got Chris Cornell helping him out with the soundtrack also, you know, with guitar bits and rough cut. If you find this on CD, get the bonus CD with the extra tracks, the cuts. And if you're online, if you're on, you know, Apple Music, I think Apple Music has the whole thing. If I'm not mistaken, I have it.
I'm not sure. Spotify does not. Spotify.
That's crazy. Tidal does, and I'm pretty sure Apple does, and they've got bonus tracks with the Chris Cornell, you know, guitar licks, the pieces, you know, from, you know, different scenes. Like when you check it out and you listen to it, you know, like it's like a minute and a half, it's 2 minutes here, you know. But it's excellent, man, because it makes sense, and you go back into the movie and you go, I know where that's from. Mm-hmm. I know what scene that is from, man. And then you're thinking, and you always knew, man, that sounds like Chris Cornell on guitar. Well, yeah, it was, you know.
Right.
But you know, you look at. I'm going to name some bands from this because, and this is a long list of just some prime timers.
Can I see that for a second? Actually, yeah. Here's what I think is another thing I think is actually pretty special about this. There's a lot of time you get your soundtrack and whoever's picking the songs to fit into the movie or to fit in to overlay on the movie. They're known songs. They're songs that the audience will recognize automatically, or they're songs that are about to be released. But with this record, and I'm going to kind of start naming some of these songs here. You got 2 Pearl Jam songs on here, Breathe and State of Love and Trust.
Yeah.
Neither of those songs would see the light of day for about 15 to 20 years. This was the only place you could find those 2 songs outside of a bootleg for a long time.
And until they put out
Lost Dogs. Had State of Love and Trust.
Yeah.
Breathe didn't even appear until the Greatest Hits, the Rearview Mirror Greatest Hits.
True. That was difficult to find.
And then Paul Westerberg, you mentioned him and being a big influence in this, and Dyslexic Heart was all over the movie. A pretty good single for it as far as the radio stations are concerned.
What a great song. And you said the Pumpkins were kind of pissed off because, you know what, Westerberg got a little bit of favoritism. You know what? Why not?
You got Dyslexic Heart, you got Waiting for Somebody. I think Waiting for Somebody shows up on an EP. I don't think Dyslexic Heart ever shows up on a major release.
No.
This was the best place to find that, was this soundtrack. You got a Smashing Pumpkins song on here. We just mentioned them. Corgan really was wanting to push for Drown to be released as a single because it was getting some radio play anyway.
You know, but this was released on Epic, like you said, man.
And he thought that would help push the band, but he felt that it was because the album's released on Epic, they went with the Paul Westerberg stuff because they had him. He felt they went with Alice in Chains because they had them at the moment. So Wood gets released.
Which makes sense.
But Wood is one of the few songs on here that would get released. I don't remember seeing Nearly Lost You and the Screaming Trees major releases.
No.
You have a Chris Cornell solo song that I don't know if it's ever been on an official release outside of this. The Birth Ritual song that's Soundgarden, I don't believe that's on any other... I know it's not on their full-length records. I don't think it shows up on an EP.
It's Birth Ritual is on Bad Motorfinger.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you got to stop and think, man, all those albums were all coming out at the exact same time as this soundtrack, man.
So when they're getting these songs together, they're not looking for just the smash hits.
No.
You know.
Well, Birth Ritual wasn't really a smash hit for Soundgarden. It's just like it's at the end of the record.
Right. I mean, even like Battle of Evermore is a cover that is kind of hard to notice in the movie.
Yeah.
You know, you have a Jimi Hendrix song that the standard audience might have recognized. You know,
the only reason I knew it was Hendrix, man, because it's Hendrix, man.
It sounds like Hendrix. If you know music,
if you know Hendrix, you know Hendrix. But you know, it's one of those things like you said. You know, your standard. The people who are listening, you know, to music, no, I don't really. I only know the big hits.
Well, even if
you're not going to know that.
Even if you know music at that moment, you wouldn't have recognized half of those songs at least.
No, and then now, of course, I'm going to go to the trusty Wikipedia page, but these are songs that were on the soundtrack that are not on the soundtrack. You're not gonna find these on the singles album.
There's a bunch of them because like there's another Alice in Chains song. There's a song by the Cult.
Jane's Addiction.
Jane's Addiction.
Muddy Waters.
Which Cult song was it?
Pixies. REM. John Coltrane, which I'm still shocked that that's not on here because that.
I'm kind of surprised that REM song isn't on there because it would fit that album really well.
She Sells Sanctuary by the Cult,
which is one of my favorite Cult songs.
Yeah,
I dig that tune.
You had Family Affair by Sly and the Family Stone. I mean, if you've seen the movie, you know they're on there. You know they're on there. And I've always questioned it. I'm like, well, did they run out of time for this, or did they not get the okay to put it on the soundtrack itself? You know what I mean?
I would guess that personally, but I don't know the factual answer.
Now, the last song blows me away. The fact that it wasn't on the soundtrack because this dude is like good friends with all these guys. He's a Seattle stalwart, and it's Jinx by Tad. That is not on here, man.
That is surprising.
And that's insane because Tad is
very well respected in that scene at that time.
Yeah, like you've got Mark Arm with, the guys with, the band Pearl Jam, working with those guys with, Matt Damon did not sing in Citizen Dick. He was not in Citizen Dick. It's a movie. But Touch Me, I'm Dick. It's, it's a play off of Mudhoney's Touch Me, I'm Sick, but Touch Me, I'm Dick. Mark Arm and the boys from Pearl Jam, and if I'm not mistaken, Eddie Vedder's playing the drums on this particular track.
I did not realize that.
They switched everything up, dude.
That is very interesting.
And then that's Eddie Vedder. That's classic, man. That's what that dude was doing and still does at this time. That dude's a fucking genius.
It's an impressive band. That's three.
Yeah, but you don't have Tad, which I have Tad down there, by the way.
I actually noticed that.
Yeah, I do. I've got Paul. I think I have Paul at home. Jesse, one of my favorite songs. Sorry.
No, Paul's down there too.
Is Paul down there too?
It is. I saw it.
Oh.
I almost said something about it.
Yeah, that's a great record. We will be talking about both those bands soon enough. Like I said, man, we can do this.
We can
all day.
We do also need to mix it up at some point, though.
Well, yeah,
we really dug into Seattle.
We need some Motown. We need some British. Absolutely. We need maybe some pop. There's some good pop. There were some great pop records, man, from the 70s and 80s. But yeah, so go get this. I bought this at Wound for Sound, if I'm not mistaken. And I got this album for $28.
Dude, with that many good songs on it, that's not a bad price.
Double album. Alright, so you want to go get this. This is a definite 8 out of 8 slices for me. This is extra cheese, double pepperoni, and some meatballs. Maybe some green olives. I don't know if I'm feeling fancy. This is a great record, man.
Green olives are always a quality decision.
Oh, absolutely. With pepperoni, dude, can't go wrong.
Especially if they're soaked in vodka.
Oh, you're welcome. You are welcome.
Love me a green olive soaked in vodka. I love them so much I can't talk about them right. It takes an incredible amount for me to call an album 8 slices. I'm going with 7 on this.
What? How? Dude, come on. Well, I mean, it's your opinion, but to me, that's an 8er, dude. That's a full pizza.
I have one major problem with it.
What's that?
I don't like the Zeppelin cover.
Do you know who's doing it?
Yeah, I don't like it.
All right. I mean, I know why they're on it.
Yeah, I do too. But for my mind,
shall we tell everybody who's on it?
I would love to have had that song switched out with the REM song or a Tad song or something like that. That would also fit the album.
Yeah. Do you know who the Love Mongers are?
Yes.
The Wilson sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Heart.
Yep.
Seattle.
And
Cameron Crowe, man. Right there. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of of the. I'm not a big fan of it. I just don't think it fits on the record for me. But still, I mean, there's so many good tracks on here, so many great tracks. But yeah, absolutely, REM would have made it.
I think that would have been a better substitution.
It would have been fantastic, man.
For my opinion,
this is a great movie. Go buy it and watch it again. This is a great soundtrack. This was a great time in society, man. You might not think so, but you know what? We had some great music, and we were still learning, and we weren't as aggressive as we are now.
And if you want to see something hilarious, watch this movie and look at the size of the phones and the garage door openers.
Oh,
holy smokes, dude! You could use those things for weapons.
The garage door opener, man, and the garage is going up and down.
Yeah, and it's as big as her hand.
They buy her a new garage door opener.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, man. It's like, yeah, the phones, and then like the video dating.
Video dating was hilarious. The old phone with the great big handle. I was for when we do these podcasts, I'll go back to the record, even if I think I already know it, see if there's something I didn't know or pick up on, whatever. And with that being a soundtrack, I watched the movie, so I wanted to kind of refresh myself on where everything sat in it, and I'm going to say it's a good movie. I don't think it aged that incredibly well, but it's still entertaining.
No, it didn't age that well, but
I was certainly not bored.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to watch.
I wasn't looking for something else to do halfway through it, but you know, I wouldn't call it a cinematic masterpiece.
True.
Yeah.
True, but I mean,
But it's also movies and records as well. A lot of the nuance with them and your appreciation is going to come from when you found it and how it relates to you in a time period. You know, there's so many records and movies are the same way, where you watch it or you listen to it and you think of what you're doing then, and you kind of reference that when you're talking about it too. Just that was not a terrible time period. You know, MTV still had music.
Yeah.
You know, that was okay. You could turn on MTV and get an unplugged episode and watch Eddie Vedder stand on a stool.
And there was only one MTV. There was no MTV2.
No, you didn't.
There was one MTV.
You didn't need a classic. You didn't need MTV The Dose or whatever they call it now.
Yeah, you had MTV.
And if you cut them at the right time, you get Headbangers Ball. If you cut them another good time, you get Unplugged.
Oh, 120 minutes.
120
Alternative
minutes.
Nation.
You had a bunch of decent stuff.
Power rock.
Yeah. Right around the end of the videos, and I don't know if they ruined it. In fact, no, I know they didn't ruin it, but Beavis and Butthead was fucking amazing. Absolutely amazing.
It's coming back too, man. They're older. Apparently they've aged, and they're older, and it's going to be on what is it? Paramount Network, Beavis and Butthead.
I hope it's as good as the last reboot, because the last reboot, did you ever catch any of those episodes?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
That is a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
To go from watching music videos to watching reality TV
was
brilliant and hysterical. The first time
they didn't know what to do.
The first time I looked that up, let's just paint the picture here. I was living at home with the entire family because we'd all moved back in together because my mom was fighting cancer. Mm. And so we're all living in the same house. And it's probably 11 o'clock at night. And I'm just up there messing around on my laptop in my room. And I was like, I want to check this out, see if they're, what they're doing. Because music videos are nearly obsolete. Mm-hmm. So I pull it up. I had to turn it off because the first time they went into reality TV show, like, I was laughing so hard I was going to wake someone up. Dude, I had to turn it off and wait until the next day during business hours, I guess you call it, and to watch it again and then give it the full laugh it deserved.
Yeah, apparently they're older and now they're watching, they're pretty much watching life go by. And I'm like, oh my.
Please tell me they're making fun of the youth of today.
I hope so. Please. I hope so, man, because you know what? It needs a little spanking. This world needs a little. This world needs an enema, man. A couple.
In some ways, yes.
Oh, that's a whole new ball game, whole other story, whole other podcast. But that is not why we're here. We are here to get your mind off of things, man. Hopefully, you've got a drink in your hand, maybe a little smoke to toke. You've got the stereo up. You're listening to us with some headphones, and you're listening to us talk about some of your favorite records,
such as Temple of the Dog. This is an amazing piece.
That is an absolute amazeballs record, dude.
Obviously, for everyone watching, here's your cover here. It's 10 songs. I don't think there's a miss on here.
No.
And when you
no, there isn't.
For those of you that don't know what this is, it's essentially a tribute album. You know, we've spent quite a bit of time talking about this Seattle scene that really generated the bands that we know.
Yeah.
And this is a tribute album to one of the members of that scene that died before he made it. You know, Andrew Wood was the lead singer of Mother Love Bone, passed away, was good friends with Chris Cornell.
Yeah, what a great band, man. I think he was good friends with all these dudes, man, because Mother Love Bone, he was with, Stone Gossard, Jeff Almond.
They were both in Mother Love Bone.
Yeah, so,
and they're involved in this record. Because this record is essentially a combination of Pearl Jam and Soundgarden. You got two members of Soundgarden, because they were already putting records out.
Yeah, and this was Eddie Vedder's first foray into playing with these cats. Well, I mean, I think they were already making 10. Mookie Blaylock, or, they would call them. You know.
They were, because technically speaking, Vedder had already joined the band. They were already a band. They had started doing shows as Mookie Blaylock earlier in this same year. Because if I'm not mistaken, what is credited as their first show is in like February of 90. It's January or February of 1990. This record is recorded in November and December of 1990, so they hadn't been doing it very long at all.
No, dude. I mean, it was one of those things like, when you watch documentaries, especially the one about Pearl Jam, man, he's thrown to the fire, man. He's like, let's go.
You're right.
Let's do it.
They sent him tapes, got his auditions back, said, and, Gossard and Ahmet and McCready and the group said, we want to bring you up here, and he never left.
No.
He just jumped right in. They start doing shows, doing all this good stuff. And obviously, shortly after they get started, there's the passing of Andrew Wood. Chris Cornell puts this project together to basically pay tribute to Andrew Wood, and you get Temple the Dog out of it, and it's just incredible.
Yeah, it was recorded at London Bridge, which recorded, man. If you're from Seattle or the area, man. They had you, dude. You went there and recorded a record.
It's a very famous recording studio in that area. And at this time, it was still pretty new. But it had already gained a reputation because they'd already done out some Mudhoney albums. I think one of the early Soundgarden recordings is at London Studios as well.
Yeah.
I believe. This one, obviously, obviously, the Seattle scene was a very tight group, and Andrew Wood was very well respected in that scene, even though he was obviously a heavy partier, because that would be his demise.
Yeah, but they all were, man.
A lot of them were, and it's just interesting. Like I said, I look into these albums before we go into the podcast, and there's so much there. Let's just take Chris Cornell and Matt Cameron, for example.
Yeah.
They put out, was it Ultra Mega OK in 89?
Was that 89? I'm looking at the record right now. It's up on the wall. It's that good. 89 or 90. I would like to say it was 89.
Their discography now, I get Ultra Mega OK and Bad Motorfinger turned around, but one's released in 89, the other one's in 91.
Bad Motorfinger is 91, so this came out in late 89, yes.
So it'd be Ultra Mega OK.
Yeah.
So as far as Cornell's work is going, he's just and Cameron from Soundgarden, they've just put out a record. They're probably touring on it. They lose one of their best friends.
Oh, yeah.
They go back, they work on this record, and almost have to be working on Bad Motorfinger at the same time.
Most likely. Most likely because you got Chemtrails. Did I say that right?
I believe so.
And he's in the studio writing stuff, and they've got a bass player because they've had changes in their lineup.
They're also working on songs for singles.
Yeah.
Which is at the same time.
And in the movie singles.
And in the movie.
Yeah.
So you look, Chris Cornell and Matt Cameron are really busy dudes for a couple years there.
Oh yeah.
This killer record happens to show up in the middle of it. You look into the history of Stone Gossard and Jeff Ament. I guess they're a package deal. They were in Green River together.
No, McCready also.
They were in. I don't know if McCready was in Green River. I know he knew him. I don't know if he was with them in the
was it McCready in? Let me double check this. Because you know what, I like to pride myself on Pearl Jam knowledge.
One of those three bands, because Gossard and Ament are in Green River, then they're in Mother Love Bone.
You are absolutely right. He was not in Green River nor Malfunction, and I was thinking Malfunction too, but
and they're in Temple the Dog,
another band from Seattle that you need to check out.
And they're in Pearl Jam. I guess these two must be like the bestest of pals ever, because they've now officially been doing business for since 30 years,
like 1986.
Yeah, so you're literally talking 35 years.
Yeah, which you know what, man.
Go them.
That's rock and roll, man.
Well done.
That is rock and roll, dude, and that's why they're allowed to take breaks, being in Pearl Jam now. Yeah, well, now they're in Pearl Jam. I mean, a little band called Pearl Jam.
The same with Matt Cameron, who's just like, the Soundgarden thing's not going right now, so I'm just gonna go play with Pearl Jam.
I'll go play with the guys in Pearl Jam. But you sit there and you think about it, and everybody goes. I keep hearing it, online, and if you're a Pearl Jam fan, and man, why is it taking them so long to put out a new record? You know what? Shut up, man. At least we're gonna get a new one.
Yeah.
Be quiet, dude, because they've been going for so long, man. They get the opportunity to just not. All right, it takes a minute now, man, to actually get the steam and the stamina and the ideas flowing.
To me, that's got to be part of it, because at this point, how much have you exhausted? How much is left in the tank? I mean,
although their last album, man, was really good, dude. I thought it was pretty damn good, and for what is left in the tank, like you say,
Well, and I'm not arguing that point. I was more talking about the creative process.
Exactly.
When you're going to create, how much more do you have to put out there? Because I'm sure they've written down lyrics or put together guitar riffs and then said, nope, that sounds like Yield.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That sounds like no code. We don't need to do that again.
Well, dude, there's so many. It's like when they put out Lost Dogs.
Which is...
What the... I'm going, what the hell is this, man? Because
it's 2 CDs of beautiful gems. That's what that is.
They're totally... They're new albums. And Pearl Jam said, no, these are B-sides.
Yeah.
This is scraps. And no, they're not. No, they're not, man, because for anybody else, man, that would be platinum records.
Yeah.
But it's Pearl Jam.
And their songs they've been sitting on for 10 years, 15 years.
And they were like, how many more do they have like that?
Oh, the vault has got to be awesome.
Oh, yeah, dude. It's like Prince, man. Like they showed Prince the other day. He's got a new record coming out. I guess it was an album he was working on. It's finally, they finished it. And they showed the vault. And it is enormous.
Oh, it's gotta be.
And they say he's got stuff for another 100 years, man, if we want to put it out. But there's also things that he said never, ever put that out. I don't want no one to ever hear that. And there's probably stuff like that with Pearl Jam.
Probably so.
I never want anybody to hear this, man. This should never be on tape right now. Like, get rid of this, Dave Grohl, I was watching something with Dave Grohl the other day. He seems to be popping up everywhere again. And he's the same way. He goes, man,
P.S. The last Foo Fighters album is really good.
It's pretty solid.
I was impressed by it.
They're and that's another band that you sit there and you go, okay, how much do they have left in the tank? And then they just keep on going, dude. They keep on rocking and rolling, man.
I think Dave Grohl's got a phenomenal amount of juice left. because he always puts himself into different projects, and even like I said, the newest Foo Fighters album I thought was really, really good. But he just doesn't stop. And some people are like that. You know, like Josh H. Because I refuse to say his last name.
Caius, Queens of the Stone Age. That's who he's talking about. He's talking about either Josh Homme or Josh Homme. See, I'll take the bullet on that one. Yeah. You know, him too, man. You know, he's...
Well, and I bring that up because he and Grohl did them Crooked Vultures.
Yeah.
Which, my God. I had that... We will most likely talk about that record.
That's a good record, man. That one grew on me. You know, it took a minute, but I was like, okay. All right.
It's solid.
That's pretty good,
solid.
Man. With John Paul Jones?
I didn't know John Paul Jones could thump like that. Because the Zeppelin music didn't style itself towards that style of playing.
No, but they were also a completely, you know, I mean, man, they were focused on different things, and he took a back seat. Now, I'm saying that to a degree, he took a back seat. Because it's a team, man. It's a band, you know? And when you're putting stuff out, man, sometimes your ideas, you've got some ideas, and you may want to be a little louder, you may want to be a little more vocal, a little more heard. Does that sound, is that?
No, and I see what you're saying.
Yeah, but sometimes it's just not right.
And from his point of view, what an uphill battle, even if you did want to be heard.
Oh, yeah, dude.
You had a beast of a man on the drum set. You had an incredibly charismatic lead singer with a great voice. You have one of the greatest guitarists ever. I mean,
yeah,
he's in the argument. I'm not going to say he is the greatest, but he's in the argument.
Oh, yeah.
Page is a bad dude.
Well, I mean, there's of course he's in the argument. He's Jimmy Page, man.
Right.
You know, I mean, the Yardbirds and Led Zeppelin.
Zeppelin's one of those few bands where each individual band member is in the argument as a great with their instrument.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's not many bands like that, but Zeppelin's one of them. So if you're John Paul Jones, and you're already strapped with the infamous bass player label, because bass players never get attention, but how do you make yourself heard?
Exactly, and you know, a lot of times, man, he was playing bass as he, you know, like he was playing the keyboard, the organ, like it was bass, kind of like Ray Manzarek with the Doors, man, because they didn't have a bass player until L.A. Woman.
Right.
Maybe the album before. I think the Salt Parade was before the L.A. Woman.
I thought it was L.A. Woman, but I could be mistaken.
And that's when they brought in Elvis Presley's bass player. And he couldn't keep up and he was like, man, I was having a hard time with this one, man, because, you know, like, this is totally not straight four on the floor, straight up, you know, Elvis Presley, Elvis does this. Right. And here are the Doors doing, well, we're going to do this.
For now.
We're going to change it up a little bit. And he's like, that change up was insane, man.
Well, realistically, the band members of the Doors had to be special. Because you had to keep yourself in time and be able to come in and out.
Another band we're going to talk about most definitely.
While following this bizarre kook of a lead singer. Morrison's a special bird on a good day.
Oh yeah, dude. Robbie Krieger. You know, man, there's so many, like, you sit there and you watch the documentaries and you listen to the stories and you read about it and you go,
what? How?
What in the hell, man? But you know what? Drugs, man. Drugs are a wonderful thing, dude, sometimes. And that's what Robbie Krieger was like, you know, man, we tried to keep up, but Jim was Jim.
Yeah.
He was the Lizard King, man.
What a bizarre individual. Interesting person to read about.
His books are really good, man. His poetry.
They actually are.
Yeah, they're pretty solid, man.
Read through one of them.
What's your favorite track off of Temple of the Dog? Mine is Pushing Forward Back, just because it's straightforward. I dug it, man. That was actually the first song I heard. Hunger Strike, and then, you know, Say Hello to Heaven, and the whole album is good, but Pushing Forward Back was the first song. Because
Hunger Strike's the first one I heard because it got popular when Pearl Jam got popular.
Yeah.
So this album kind of came back to the forefront of the music scene at that point.
This album was put out, and then it kind of just was like, meh.
It kind of sat there for
and then it came back because they made a video.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and they make a video of Hunger Strike, which is one of the few songs where you can actually hear Eddie Vedder, because he really only backup vocals for most of this.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
But,
dude.
But yeah,
which is fine with me, man, because, I mean, come on, man, you're back.
When your backup vocalist is your backup vocalist.
Eddie Vedder is the backup vocalist to...
You've done something
Cornell.
Right. I mean... But and there's another
That's
one.
respect, man.
Part of the reason I love this album, this may be Cornell's best work vocally. Vocally, I think he is absolutely on point on this album.
I don't know. I thought he was good on Bad Butterfinger. Ultra Mega OK. It was really good too. It's a great album. That's why that's hanging up there next to Get Up Kids.
And vocally speaking, I think he's absolutely on point with Down on the Upside. This one is in the same level. This one might be better.
It's powerful, man. And you can feel the power in his vocals. You can feel the power in the guitar. You can feel the power in every instrument and anything that they're doing in the studio, because this album meant more to them.
Yeah, it meant something.
Yeah.
It really meant something. And you'd asked me this, and if I got to pick a song, I'm going to go with Call Me a Dog.
Good song.
I love that song.
All right.
Pizza rating.
How many slices?
This is one of the few I'm going to give A.
I was going to say, dude.
There's not a miss on here.
I'm a happy camper with this one, man, because that's a 2 for tonight, man, and I knew it was going to happen. It is an 8 out of 8 slice record album for me, man, because that is the full kit and caboodle. That is the pepperoni, the extra cheese. You might need a little extra sauce. It's green and black olives.
It's a great mix of those Seattle bands. It's a great, very well written songs. You said it. You can hear the passion and the emotion in their voice.
It's such a, you know what, man? It's so much rock, man. It's just not enough for one finger. You go like that. Bam. It's like the horns. You go like, meh. That's just straight the fuck up, dude. Yeah, well, I broke it.
My goodness.
I broke it, or I lost one for next time.
So, cross the threshold.
Yeah. That's just a great record, man. Both these records, man, are just great records. Now I know one of them's a soundtrack band, but it's the movie and the soundtrack and the time that it came out, man. Just like Temple of the Dog. Like, you don't want anybody making a record like that, especially when it means that we lost somebody who was actually getting ready to just explode on the rock and roll scene, man. I mean, he was close.
It sure seemed like Mother Love Bone was about ready to go.
But
having said that, if they make it, Pearl Jam doesn't happen.
Pearl Jam doesn't happen. We will hear Eddie Vedder, but we won't hear Eddie Vedder the way we get Eddie Vedder.
Well, not as we know him now.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't know what incarnation it would have been.
Because he was still down in San Diego, man, surfing.
Yeah.
You know, and making his cassettes, but they weren't, you know, it wasn't Pearl Jam, man. It wasn't Mookie.
No.
It was something completely different, man. So there's no telling, man. Everything happens, unfortunately, for reasons beyond, you know, our mind, man. Like our thinking. We have no control over what happens, but it happens, man.
All we can do is make the best of what we're given.
Exactly.
And these fine folks made an incredible record with what they were given.
You know, yeah. I mean, I was trying to put that one a little more eloquently, but man, you know what? They're just some badass rock and rollers, man. And they knew what they had to do, and they knew they had to do it, and they had to put it out there, and they had to get it off their chest, and then they had to continue to go for people like Andy Wood.
And it's one of those things.
I mean, that's fantastic, man.
And everyone deals with personal loss differently. These guys worked through it.
Yeah.
Because like I said, you know, between Pearl Jam and Soundgarden, both groups were extremely busy at this time.
Oh yeah, man.
You know, Pearl Jam's doing shows and writing 10 while they're doing this. Soundgarden, we talked about it. You're in between albums. You're on set with the singles thing. You're so super busy right there for
91,
a couple of years.
92, I saw Pearl Jam on Day on the Hill. in Lawrence.
I hate you.
It was, I can't remember what year, but I was high school, definitely. But yeah, I went, and a friend of mine was like, hey man, you know, cousin's getting ready to graduate, I'm going to go there, there's a concert. Like, yeah, it was like $5, $6, something like that. And it wasn't just Pearl Jam, it was a great lineup, man, of local bands, of just good rock and roll alternative, you know, just...
Did Better start climbing the...
Mount, he climbed Mount Orion and just, you know, he jumped over Memorial Stadium. Man, it was, the stage wasn't very big, and he just kind of went, and it was one of those things, you know, he was Eddie Vedder hair going back and forth, and after that, we're sitting there looking at each other going... Back when he had hair. Yeah, and we're going, what is this?
It's like every album they put out, he lost like a quarter-inch of hair, and it never comes back.
Yeah, but it was insane, dude. So I had the luck to see that. I also saw in 92? 92 was the first Lollapalooza. I saw that over here at off of Uhi Drive.
I thought that was 94.
No, I think it was.
Did they come through twice?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did they come through twice? Because I know they came through once.
Well, it was a gimme. Like they were coming through, man. It was Lollapalooza, dude. And when Lollapalooza came through, you know, like if it was announced, we were on. It was like Vans Warped Tour, you know, like they were touring everywhere because they force feeding you.
I didn't remember them hitting Longview that many times.
I want to say it was twice, because I saw them in Atlanta.
Because one time Lollapalooza hit View High over on the Longview campus was when Metallica was touring on Love.
Yeah, because Ice Cube, it was Ice Cube, Metallica. It was
Soundgarden's on there too.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, was it Ministry?
Maybe so.
Gene Love Jezebel.
But
Jesus Mary Chain.
The thing that always strikes me about that, and the reason I remember that, is because I saw a documentary on Metallica. Load and Reload were going to be a double album.
Yeah.
But they released Load because they got the invite to Lollapalooza, and they were like, okay, we're going to go ahead and put out this first part of it. That's why they ended up coming out as two separate releases.
That's a lot. There's a lot of people who blame Metallica for the beginning and the end of Lollapalooza. But... you know, you got to think about it, man. Lollapalooza did not, you know, it wasn't set up as, hey, man, we're going to be elitists and we're just going to take this back. No, man, it was rock and roll, man. Look, who do you want to be on it? We're friends with you. You know, Perry Farrell was friends with everybody, man. Mm-hmm. And he wanted Metallica. You know why? Why not? Because they grew up listening to Metallica, man.
I want Metallica at my music festival.
Well, yeah, dude, I want to see Metallica in 1994. Who the hell wouldn't? You know?
Well, up until they released Load and all their fans decided to be dumb and bitch about their hair.
I thought those albums were pretty good, man. They were just different. They weren't the best albums, man, but damn.
I would even argue that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
you know, it's one of those things. But that's another thing, dude. That's for another podcast. We may, you know, just say, hey, today we're not going to talk about records. We're going to talk about concerts. That's a beautiful thing about this, man. We can do whatever, man. We can do whatever, man.
Between the two of us, we've seen some decent shows.
Oh, yeah. Dude, that is absolutely... it is an hour and 8 minutes into the podcast. I think, yep, everybody's asleep.
All 99 of them?
All 99 of them, man. We may have hit 100. I don't know. We may have hit 100. Let me see. Let me refresh. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've been checking, man.
This is what we do.
This is what we do. Let me see here. Let me move the microphone a little bit. We're gonna hit that. Let's see if
we at 3 figures. Are we at 3 figures?
We are. Yes, we are. All right. Yeah, we're over 100, man.
3 figures. Next up, 4.
We did it, man. We did it. We did it. Thank you. Thank you, people. I love you guys. It doesn't say it on here, but yeah, I was keeping roll call and I saw people hitting it on the corner. So we're sitting at about 103 people. So thanks a lot, man. You know, little by little.
And you know, not to be sarcastic, but to all 103 of you, appreciate the support.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely. You know what? We
love having an audience. We like being able to talk to people and, you know, tell people about music, whether they know the subject or not. And please spread the word.
Yeah, we've got stickers, share. More stickers coming, T-shirts, and it's going to get a little warmer at some point in time, I hope. Koozies, man. Now, who wouldn't want to be in a backyard or on a lake with a Chemtrails koozie? I want one, man, just for myself. That sounds pretty cool, man. Take Florida and be like, what is that? Don't worry about that.
You know, and don't take this the wrong way. I am more interested in the beer it is holding.
True. Koozies never last with me because I don't really need them. I drink the beer too fast. So it's never going to get cold or get warm. It's going to stay cold, man. The mountains are going to stay blue.
Mountains are still blue.
They're still blue, man. Yeah, you know, it is what it is, man. What can I tell you? But yeah, we've got some merch coming. So spread the word. Tell your friends. Tell your family. Tell your associates at work. Everybody's going back to work apparently, which is a good thing. Knock on wood. Let me see. Let me find some wood. Yep, that's fake wood, but it's close enough. There's wood particles, wood grain, you know, whatever.
Is there?
I think I don't know, man. There's no telling, dude. It's Nebraska Furniture Mart. What do you want? It worked. It was cool. They told me there was wood.
It's still upright.
Yeah, it's still standing.
That's decent.
It's still standing, but yeah, thank you guys for listening. We do enjoy doing this. If you have any gripes, complaints, or would like to throw your 2 cents worth in on what we talk about, you know, feel free to send us some messages on our page, Facebook page, which is at Chemtrails with Adam and Sean.
Yeah, and on the page you can send a direct message that'll go through privately that I'll see, or you can just comment on the links we put up, because every week, or I'll not say every week, but every podcast we're going to post the links to the Anchor FM link, and
yeah, absolutely.
When we can actually get Fandangle this video thing for YouTube around and get it right.
Hopefully,
we will also,
third time's a charm.
Hopefully, we'll also post links to that. So you can throw comments on there if you want to be show specific, or if you just have suggestions. We'll definitely see them on there.
Yeah, and you know what? Like he said, man, thank you. We appreciate it. And we'll leave you on this note. Go support local. The Sean.
And the Adam.
And this has been another podcast from Raytona Recordings. Chemtrails with Adam and Sean. We'll talk to you soon, alright? Stay cool. Alright.
I didn't realize we're at hour 8. Granted, I think